Okay. So the recording has started. Good morning once again. You are welcome back to um, today's episode of BMC training. Today is the fourth day in our August 2024 cohort. That is, we are starting a new training today, which means that for the next 10 weeks, we are going to be together in this class where we'll be sharing knowledge, we'll be learning from each other, at least for the next 10 weeks. Like we all know, the classes is going to take place or are going to take place on Saturdays and Sundays. The classes will take place on Saturdays and Sundays alone. While during the week, if you have any challenge, you can always send message to the group. I'm talking about the paid group for those who are paid for the 10 weeks. So you can always ask question and they will be there to respond to you as soon as we get your messages. So what I will advise is that these 10 weeks we are going to be very, very busy. Please, the class will hold on weekend, right? But you have to take extra time during the week so that you don't lag behind. Let's try as much as possible to at least give like at least an hour a day for the revision of these classes. Imagine we have a class 10 to 2. We have a class 10 to 2 on Saturday and a class on Sundays. That is 4 hours and 2 hours. That is 6 good hours. So if care is not taken, piling up these classes together, piling them all, over, will give you something like 60 hours class to review later. And I can bet it is going to be very heavy and challenging. But the best thing is try as much as possible during this period, these 10 weeks. Let's give the 10 weeks for the training. Don't worry. Once you can dedicate your time, follow the classes step by step. After the class, you have by then you will never be a newbie again in the field of using data analysis tools. What we need is actually understanding the basics, understand how to use the tools, what to do, how to achieve A, B, and C. That is what we want to achieve. So, which means that once we get that, doing other things, expanding knowledge will no longer be difficult for us. So, in this class, we are going to learn from Microsoft Excel, then to Power BI. We have SQL Server, Python, and Tableau. So you can see that the first 5 classes is going to be dedicated for Microsoft Excel, followed by 3 classes for Power BI. Then we have SQL Server, which is more of a database querying, how to query databases for your analysis. Then we move to Python. On Python, we're going to focus on data analysis aspect of Python, not entire Python. We are going to focus on the libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. So we are going to focus on those 4 libraries. Then we move to Tableau. So all these are, except for SQL Server, which is for database querying, the 4 other tools are for data analysis and data visualizations. So except for the SQL Server, which is more or less for analysis only, for querying databases only. So today be the first day in Excel, and from the form that we filled, I can see that we have so many of us that we are very new to Excel. So many of us are very new to Excel. So with that, we are going to start from the basic background, and we'll move step by step. So don't be afraid if you don't cover everything in a day. But what we are going to do is we are going to cover everything we need before we move to the next tool. So we are not going to make it a jump. We're not going to jump anything. So if we are not going to finish everything we have here today, what is most important is that we understand what we are doing. So these are day 1, and on day 2 of Excel, we are going to learn the logical functions. I think we already have this in our post, so I will not read out everything here again. And remember, I said we should dedicate some hours every day to practice, because we have a lot of things to revise. All these things are very easy to learn and are very easy to forget if you don't use them. And the more you practice, the more you become a pro in using all these tools. So on day 2, which is tomorrow, Sundays, Sunday is also going to be a free class for all also. So those of us, if we have any friend that we think can benefit from the class, let's share the links with them so that they can also benefit from the training. So tomorrow we're going to learn logical functions, which is basically if, ifs, nested ifs, everything 1 to 4 is basically if. So if error, then we move to relative references. I think we're going to start with references tomorrow before we start logical functions. Okay, or we can finish the logical functions whichever way. Let's wait till tomorrow. So we're going to learn references, logical functions, and some statistical functions like sum if, count if, sum product, and the rest. Then next week we are going to start data cleaning with text functions in Excel. Text functions in Excel. So we're going to learn some of these text functions, and then we move to text to column. Then we talk about lookups, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, HLOOKUPs, index and match, and the data modeling using lookup functions. We're going to start how to model data using what? The lookup functions. And on the fourth day, we're going to talk about pivot table and pivot chart. Pivot table, pivot chart, and dashboard. So then on the fifth day, we're going to progress to, we just learn a bit of Power Pivot and Power Query in Excel. We're going to focus more on Power Query when we get to Power BI during the training. So, without wasting time, let me share my Excel, and let's start one after the other. Okay, so let's talk about Excel. If you have opened your workbook, perhaps your workbook may not be editable. Possibly, when you download the workbook, maybe from the internet or from the group, your workbook may not be editable. So what you do is use Control S, press Control S to save. It will tell you that if you want to save whatsoever, bring out a dialog box, just click yes. Once you click yes, your Excel workbook will be editable. On the other way, you can see a kind of yellow line at the top here where you can click on, like something like this. You can have, let me open this. Maybe I can see something like this to demonstrate that. Let's wait. Okay, now you can see this yellow line here is showing that this workbook is in protected view, which means that I cannot edit it. I can just click on enable editing. When you click on enable editing, it will get you into the workbook and you can then edit. Now, like this now. Let me click on this now. You can see that I cannot type anything now currently. I cannot type. I'm already clicking, but nothing is working now. So when you click on enable editing or you press Ctrl S, enable savings, I click on enable savings. Now I can use the workbook. Can you see now? So that is the first thing you should note. When you download your workbook and you face that issue. The second thing we should notice, perhaps when you open your workbook, you might find yourself somewhere. You might not find yourself on the first page. You can find yourself somewhere here. Look at the extreme left bottom here. The left bottom, the left side. Tony Salami. Hello? Can you have a question? Can you ask a question? Madam Tony.
It was a mistake, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Oh, it's a mister. I thought it's madam because of the name. Sorry about that, please.
Mister. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir. So on the left side there, you see these two arrows. These two arrows here, you can click on this left one, it will take you to the left. You can click on this right one, it will take you to the right. You can also right click on either of the two. You can right click on either of them. When I right click on this, see what happens? It will list all the sheets that I have in this workbook. These are the sheets that I have. So then you can move to where you want to go. We are starting from data type. I'm clicking on data type, right? And I click OK. So if I use arrow 2, I can just select the arrow to the left, left, left. And when you see this, you just select the sheet, click on it, and it's going to take you to the sheet that you want. For the benefit of those of us who are very new, I'm going to right click on this. I want to add a fresh new sheet. The first sheet here, we have the content. By clicking on this, it will take me to the sheet where I'm going. I can go to the other sheet from here. I can go back to content again, click on the building databases. It will take me to the sheet by using this content sheet. So those are the ways by which we can use this workbook. Now, but before we start the class, let me quickly introduce Excel itself. To open a fresh sheet in Excel, I can use, can you see the plus sign here? This plus sign, when I put my cursor on it, you can see new sheet. There's something popping up under my cursor showing new sheet. If I click on this, it's going to open a new sheet towards the right side of the sheet where I was. This is sheet 1. It's opening a sheet, and the name of the sheet is sheet 1. This is called Excel worksheet. In your book or in our books that we use in primary school, secondary school, or the textbook we have sheets. Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5, up to any number of sheets that we think we have. Some books may have like up to 500 sheets. That is called sheet. But the combination of plenty sheets is called what? Book. Combination of sheets, several sheets, are referred to as book. So which means that this book that I sent to you is called Excel workbook. The workbook contains the name of the workbook is what? Excel August 2024 day 1. That is Excel workbook. But in the workbook, we have content sheet, sheet 1 sheet, data type, data consistency, building. So all these ones are sheets. They are different sheets in this workbook. So in this workbook, in the sheet of Excel, in the sheet, let's quickly look at the interface of what a sheet has. On a sheet of Excel, we have at the top here, we have ribbon, home tab, insert tab, draw. If yours is not the same fashion like mine, your ribbon may have different names on your ribbon, and you may not have developer and power pivot. Don't worry about those ones for now, but you should have home, insert, page layout, formula, data, review, and view. I think you should have home, insert, page layout, formula, data, review, and view. So we should have those basic ones in all our Microsoft Excel. And down under the tab, we have something on the left side called a name box. Name box. This is the name that tells you where you are. Imagine I find myself here. I don't know where I am. Can you see where I am? I'm new to Excel. I can't see my work again. Where is the work I've been doing all this while? I can't find it again. I scroll up, I scroll down. I can't find it. Look at this name. It's telling me that I'm in the cell J 1,048,564, which means that I'm far, far, far down the Excel worksheet. This is the row where I am. Can you see where I am? Very far away. How do I go back? I can now come back. I can come back here and type maybe A1. I can come back using the what? Name box. Now I'm inside A1. Now I can now see my work now. So this one will tell you where are you. This box will tell you the name of the cell where you are. And what is the cell in Excel? We have a column. Can you see a column? I just click on the column now. Column A. We have also another column, column B, column C, up to what? Column XFD. That shows the number of columns that we have in Excel. So each of these represent a column. We also have rows. Rows. This is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, up to row 1,048,000 and the rest. So we have that number of rows in Excel. So each time you click on the cell, it will look at the column and the row together. The intersection is going to be the name of that cell. Currently now we are on column A and row 2. The name of our cell is what? A2. If I click on this, can somebody tell me the name of the cell? You can use the chat box. The name of the cell is what? Use the chat box to respond. Okay. Cell G7. Great. Thank you very much. Now, let's look at this. Can somebody tell me the name of this cell? Sorry, let me move. Okay, I'm there now. What's the name of this cell? You can use the chat box to respond. K21. So you can see KE. No, okay, I think I want to type 21, not E1, it's 21. Great. So that is how to name that is how to name the cell. If you look at this place, you see the name here. Second thing I want us to note is that in front of the name cell, the name cell here, there's a 3 dot here, which I can use to increase the size or decrease the size. There's this 3 dot. When I put my cursor on it, it shows the sign that I can expand this. So in front of it, we have a formula bar. This is called formula bar. Formula bar is all by default, we always show. Although sometimes when you are doing some work, you may hide it. If you come to the view, you may hide your formula bar. If we are working in a workbook and your formula bar is hidden, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just go to view and say you want to view the formula bar. So we have formula bars here. That is that. And down here we have sheets, different sheets. And I think that's all. Here, down here, we have a status bar. This one will tell us when Excel is ready to take numbers. And now it's ready now. If I play something, when I'm typing something now, can you see? It's not ready. That means there is the Excel worksheet, the Excel cell is not ready to accept anything apart from typing now. The moment I click on this, I can do other things. Now, so that is that. Other thing we also do is we look at how to type in Excel. Sometimes when you type in Excel, I type something very long. This thing I've typed is very long from A to K. But when I click on A, see my formula bar. Can you see the long text? When I click on B, there's nothing. Click on C, there's nothing. Click on D. It means that all this long text is just long. It's just in cell A. It's just in cell A. So if I want to copy this, I don't need to copy everything from here to here. I will just copy, go to cell A1, press, you right click and do copy. Then come down, right click and do paste. Can you see now? I've copied everything. If I come to B and I copy anything here, there's nothing in B, C, D, F. I can say, okay, I want to paste it here also. Control V. Can you see? The paste is there. It's just one cell. So when you have a long thing in Excel, try to identify where the cell is, where the text is actually located in, not just the entire sheet that the rows as you can see it in your screen. Let me go to B and type something here. See what happened. Can you see what happened now? The what we have to be a long this before is now shortened because there is a text in the next box. So there's no space for it again to continue that long stories. And the fact that I'm not seeing them here does not make it that it's no longer here. When I click on the cell, you can see the long numbers, which means that the remaining text are still within the cell. But because it cannot cover this, that is the reason why it remain. The remaining ones are inside. So when we get to how to do formatting, we're going to see how to do some basic formatting in that regard. If I come here and I type something here, it will stop growing from there. Can you see it will stop from here? It doesn't mean that the text is still not long. It's still very long, but it can no longer occupy the text because the owner or the new owner has taken over the place. Is that clear? Any question at this point before we move to the next sheet? Any question at this point? If there is no question, please type no in the chat box. No question, just type no in chat box. You have any question, type yes in chat box before we move to data type. No, no, no. Okay, I'm waiting for one more no. At least I need 3 no's to be sure that we are good to go. Okay, thank you, David. You've made the third person. So next thing we're going to look at is data type. There are different type of data type in Excel, which we are going to look at. And basically in the data analysis, I think those are the same type of data that we have. One, we have numerical data. Excel accepts numerical data. We can have 1, 2, 3, up to like 1 million or anything. We can have numbers. We also have text. We can type text in Excel. Text are the ABC, like we all know. We have dates. We can also work with dates, where you can type, let's say we have something like this. This is time. This is date and time. So we can have time, you can have date in Excel. Excel take time and it takes what? Date. So we also have under formatting, we also have some other types like currency, which means that you can use Excel for currency. For example, let's say we have control 1 and we just use something like currency here, and I click OK. Now you can now see that this is it's just not just ordinary number again, but what? Currency. This is £1,000, 111. So those are the types of data we'll be working with as we move on in this training. So I think we should be familiar with all those numbers before, but how to use them, how to work on them, we'll be seeing that as we continue with the class. Then, when we talk about consistency, data consistency is a practice through which